where the sea meets the sand, where silence has its own sound and rhythm, lies a country draped in myth and mystery. Oman, a name whispered with reverence and restraint, a place often described as pure, humble, untouched by chaos. Its mountains rise like prayers, its deserts stretch like memory. Yet beneath its calm horizon, the truth ripples quietly. Like heat over dunes, it distorts what seems serene. Here, modern wealth hides ancient sins and secrets, and beauty hides what it doesn't wish to say aloud. The call to prayer echoes across jagged cliffs and valleys, but so do whispers of forbidden love and unseen pain. Secret laws shape lives in silence, never written, never spoken. The world calls Oman one of the most peaceful nations on earth. But peace can sometimes be a mask worn too well. Because even paradise has its shadows, and even silence has its scream. The origins. Centuries ago, Oman was not the quiet jewel it is today. It was a maritime empire, fierce, proud, and far-reaching. Its ships sailed beyond the Arabian Peninsula, carrying frankincense, gold, and slaves across the seas. From Zanzibar to the coasts of Pakistan and East Africa, Omani sailors built cities on trade and conquest. They left echoes in the Indian Ocean, still heard today. The sultans ruled with calm authority and strategic grace. One hand extended to the world in diplomacy and trade, the other guarding the soul of the desert with devotion. Here, the Quran guided life with sacred clarity, but commerce shaped destiny with equal force and ambition. Oman's ports thrived, its influence stretched across continents. Its culture blended Arab tradition with African and Asian threads. But as centuries passed, the winds of empire faded, the sails lowered, the harbors grew quiet, and the world moved on. Oman turned inward, retreating into its mountains and myths. Its people clung to tradition as the modern world stormed past. The silence grew, not from peace, but from pause. Then came one man, Sultan Qaboos bin Said, a ruler of vision, restraint, and quiet revolution. He rose in 1970, overthrew his father in a bloodless coup, and began what Omanis call the Renaissance. He opened schools, roads, hospitals, a nation reborn from sand. He built infrastructure where there had been isolation. He brought electricity to villages and education to girls. He modernized without westernizing, reformed without rebellion. But with rebirth came control, subtle, firm, and lasting. Every image of progress had to serve one vision. Every silence had its reason, every voice its boundary. To build peace, he built obedience, a system where loyalty meant prosperity and dissent meant exile. To preserve purity, he buried expression beneath politeness. Art was allowed, but only if it praised. Media was free, but only if it agreed. And thus began the Oman the world sees today. Clean, safe, untouched, and carefully curated. But beneath its surface of its calm, the rules of sin, secrecy, and survival are tightly woven.
a society where tradition is law and law is silence, where the past is honored but the present is managed, where the future is imagined but only within approved lines. Oman became a paradox, open to the world yet closed to certain truths within itself. Its beauty became its shield, its silence became its strength, and its people learned to live between reverence and restraint. This is the origin of modern Oman, a place where peace was built, but not always freely spoken. Transformation. 1. The hidden face of freedom. In Oman, the law does not scream. It whispers. Freedom of speech exists on paper, but not in practice. Speak too freely, and you vanish quietly from the digital wind. Online criticism of the Sultan, religion, or government is punishable, not by public trial, but by silence and disappearance. The crime is not dissent, it is being heard. Yet, Omani youth scroll, post, and dream. They live on borrowed time and borrowed freedom. In private, they question everything. In public, they smile and stay silent. Even now, the silence tells its own story. 2. The price of perfection. Oman's beauty is spotless, too spotless to be natural. Litter disappears, walls stay clean, protests never fill the streets. But perfection demands sacrifice, and sacrifice leaves shadows. Foreign workers from India, Bangladesh, the Philippines form nearly half the population, yet remain invisible.
They build the roads, clean the hotels, raise the skyline, but most live unseen, bound by restrictive contracts. Contracts that limit movement, speech, and even rest. Behind the white marble of Muscat's mosques, dormitories bake under the sun, 10 men to a room. Dreams are rationed, privacy is rare, dignity is conditional. The world praises Oman's order and cleanliness, but order without equality leaves cracks beneath the gold. 3. Forbidden desires. Oman calls itself modest, moral, guided by faith. But desire is a tide no wall can hold back. Same-sex relationships are criminalized by law. Unmarried couples risk imprisonment for intimacy. Even public affection between lovers can lead to arrest. Yet the quiet corners of Muscat's cafes tell another story. The flicker of a phone screen at midnight, the secret meetups near Kurim Beach. They whisper of love surviving in the dark. In a land that forbids sin, sin learns to hide beautifully. 4. Women of the Crescent. In Oman, women walk with grace and quiet strength. They work, they study, they vote, they lead. Yet invisible walls remain, built from tradition and control. While women hold ministerial positions, many still require a husband's or father's permission to travel abroad. Inheritance laws favor men by default, and the idea of divorce, though legal, carries deep social scars and stigma. The paradox is sharp and persistent. Oman promotes equality but defines it through tradition. Still, a new generation of women is rising. Their voices are gentle but steady. Their presence is a kind of rebellion, soft, persistent, unstoppable. 5. The Sharia and the Shadow. Islam is not just religion in Oman, it is rhythm. From sunrise prayer to the final adhan at dusk, it shapes law, ethics, and emotion across the nation. But where religion meets power, interpretation becomes politics. Adultery can bring lashes under Sharia law. Blasphemy can lead to imprisonment. Alcohol, though sold quietly to foreigners, remains taboo for locals. In Oman, morality is monitored softly, invisibly. There are no morality police like in Iran or Saudi Arabia. Instead, there's a subtler form of control: honor. Honor decides what can be said, worn, loved. It judges not in courts, but in whispers. It governs behavior through reputation, not regulation. And in those whispers, the shadow of control remains. 6. The hidden wealth. Oil, the quiet pulse beneath Oman's economy. Not vast like Saudi Arabia's reserves, but enough to buy serenity. For decades, oil funded free education, healthcare, and jobs. It built roads, paid salaries, and kept the peace. But as reserves thin and youth expectations rise, a question begins to shimmer in the desert heat. What happens when the oil runs out? Oman's government turns to tourism, selling its silence, its purity, its peace. But peace becomes a product, and the cracks it hides start to show. The future is no longer guaranteed. It must be earned, reimagined, sustained. 7. The ghost of modernization. The capital, Muscat, is a paradox of time. Glass towers shimmer beside centuries-old forts and stone alleys. Luxury malls rise beside date palms and fishing boats. Progress is visible, but pressure is invisible. Oman's youth are restless, highly educated, globally connected, yet trapped in a job market shaped by hierarchy. Behind polite smiles lies quiet frustration and fatigue. They crave change, but fear chaos and instability. They admire the West, but protect their roots. It's a delicate dance between loyalty and liberty, between faith and future, between tradition and transformation. In Oman, rebellion wears a suit, not a slogan. It speaks softly, moves carefully, and waits patiently. 8. The climate mirage. Deserts are not empty, they are alive with memory. But Oman's deserts are changing, reshaped by climate's hand. Flash floods tear through wadis that once knew only silence. Coastal villages vanish to rising tides and erosion. In Salalah, the monsoon grows unpredictable and erratic. In the north, heat waves reach levels once thought impossible. Oman's leaders promise green transitions and sustainability. Solar farms, ecotourism, and pledges fill official speeches. But for now, oil still funds the dream.
And dreams built on oil rarely last forever. The climate doesn't wait for policy, it responds to action. And the mirage of stability begins to blur. 9. The hidden war within. Oman stands apart in the Gulf, a neutral voice amid loud powers and louder conflicts. It mediates between Iran and the West with quiet diplomacy. Between Yemen's war and Saudi's ambitions, it offers calm. Diplomats praise its restraint, its wisdom, its balance. But neutrality has its costs and its consequences. While others take sides, Oman absorbs tension quietly. Smugglers cross its borders under moonlight. Drug routes slip through its ports unnoticed. Discontent simmers beneath polite restraint and national pride. Peace requires balance, and balance is the hardest truth to hold. It demands silence, sacrifice, and constant recalibration, and even silence can tremble under pressure. 10. The myth of the sinless land.
Every nation tells a story about itself. Oman's story is one of purity and calm, a kingdom untouched by corruption or crime, a land of order, faith, and harmony. Yet corruption whispers through contracts and quiet favors. The poor still exist, they just live off camera. Social inequality hides behind manicured gardens and marble lobbies. Hidden addiction, mental health struggles, and silent suffering persist, all brushed away by the promise of national serenity. The world calls Oman sinless, but sin here is not loud. It's subtle. It wears perfume, drives a white Lexus, and prays 5 times a day with perfect posture. Even heaven has secrets, and Oman keeps them well. The present moment. Today, Oman stands at a crossroads between 2 worlds. The old, ruled by respect, tradition, and silence. The new, driven by youth, internet, and curiosity. It is a country balancing memory and momentum, a place where the past is sacred, but the future knocks louder each year. In Muscat's cafes, conversations now stretch beyond borders. Young Omanis sip coffee and scroll through global timelines. They discuss feminism, crypto, climate, and freedom. In whispers, yes, but whispers growing louder. The internet has cracked open the sky. Ideas once distant now arrive in real time. TikToks, tweets, and TED Talks circulate in private group chats. VPNs bypass firewalls, and questions bloom in silence. What does it mean to be Omani in a global age? What does it mean to be free, to be heard? Tourism flourishes, influencers film deserts and dolphins. Travel vloggers marvel at Oman's untouched beauty. They post drone shots of wadis and white mosques. The nation opens its gates, carefully, selectively. It welcomes the world's gaze, but not its scrutiny. It offers hospitality, but not always transparency. And yet, something is shifting. A new Oman begins to breathe, somewhere between the prayer and the post, between the call to worship and the call to question, between the ancient fort and the Instagram reel. It's not the most sinful country, nor the most pure. It is simply human, a mirror of what all nations hide beneath pride and prayer. Real life in Oman is quiet, but that quiet hums with contradictions. Wealth and restraint, faith and desire, freedom and fear. A woman in a hijab runs a tech startup. A man in a distasha writes poetry about exile. A teenager dances in secret, then bows in prayer at dawn. The contradictions are not flaws, they are facts. They are the rhythm of a country in transition. Oman's greatest strength is not its silence, but its ability to survive inside it. To adapt without shouting. To change without collapsing. To evolve without erasing. This is not a revolution, it is a murmur. But even murmurs can move mountains. In the souks, English mingles with Arabic. In classrooms, girls outnumber boys. In boardrooms, women sit at the table. In homes, parents debate what freedoms to allow. The state still controls the narrative, but the people are writing subplots.
And those subplots are becoming stories. Stories of ambition, of resistance, of reinvention. Stories that don't always make the news, but make the future. Oman is not a headline, it is a heartbeat, a steady pulse beneath the surface, a country that knows how to wait, how to endure, how to listen, and how to speak when the time is right. The ocean doesn't speak here, it remembers. It remembers the ships that sailed for slaves and spices, the voices that built empires and vanished into the tide, the prayers whispered for forgiveness, and the silence that followed. Every sunrise over the desert is a reminder no land is innocent, only honest or silent.
Oman remains both, a kingdom of shadows and sunlight, of faith and flaw, of sin and sanctity intertwined. It is a place where beauty is not a mask, but a veil, thin, shimmering, and deliberate. The world will keep calling it peaceful, and perhaps that's true. But peace here isn't the absence of sin, it's the art of concealing it beautifully. It's the discipline of dignity, the choreography of calm, the performance of perfection. Because even paradise must lie to stay perfect. And Oman has mastered the lie, not out of malice, but out of necessity, to protect what it loves, to preserve what it fears losing, to hold on to what it cannot say. This is not a condemnation, it is a confession, a recognition that every nation has its shadows, that every silence has a story, and every story has a cost. Oman's story is not finished, it is still being written, in the hush of the mosque, in the glow of a phone screen, in the footsteps of a girl walking home from school. The world may never hear all of it, but Oman will remember, and in that remembering, it will endure.